in 2024 alone, it has increased by 4.2%.
Wow.
Driven by AI, data centers, and electrification efforts in plants and facilities.
The waste supply, it's very important to ensure that waste is available, and the waste supply, we can have a guaranteed long-term waste supply agreement.
With the design of all these facilities in a single complex, I think it becomes easier to transport waste or hard to recycle waste from, let's say, the starting point for us at least, it's a material recovery facility that we can take it to the waste to energy side, waste to hydrogen side, and then the future designed plants.
We don't only need renewables or nuclear or oil and gas. We need all of them together.
The full mix.
So that touches upon energy security, and the diversity of mix is important.
Hi everyone, welcome to Sustainability Heroes, a podcast brought to you by Tadweer Group with a special edition of the episode on the sidelines of the World Future Energy Summit. I am honored to be joined here by a panel of experts across the waste energy sector. Here we first have Ahmed Kayyoomi, who is Executive Director of Strategy and Business Performance at Tadweer Group with over 18 years of comprehensive experience in the energy and petrochemical sector. I am also joined by Roni, who is Managing Director Middle East of Kanadevia Inova, a global leader in energy from waste solutions, with over 24 years of experience at Kanadevia Inova, with 12 of which have been based in the UAE. And finally, I have also with me Nasir Shamsi, who is CEO of Energy Solutions BEEAH. He also leads on the organization's efforts in pioneering low efforts and low emission solutions and leveraging hydrogen to strengthen the UAE's leadership in the energy sector. Thank you all so much for joining me today.
Thanks,
Thank
Sarah.
you.
Pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure to be here with you. So to start with, please, let's kind of look at the waste energy sector from a more global standpoint. So Roni, my first question for you. What does it take to make a waste energy project economically viable? And what business models or financial structures have you seen work best to ensure these waste energy investments pay off?
Thanks, Sarah, for the question. A very interesting and valid question. Waste to energy only works economically when it is treated as part of this waste management strategy. It cannot be only a power plant. What makes waste to energy project economically viable? Please let me here introduce some 5 key pillars. The pillar number 1 is the waste supply. The waste supply, it's very important to ensure that waste is available, and the waste supply, we can have a guaranteed long-term waste supply agreement. Like Tadweer in Abu Dhabi, you are well structured, and Tadweer as a government entity, you have the mandate to control the waste. Reason why your project was a very feasible project for the lenders to finance this project, because you have well structured waste management system, and then of course you control your waste. That is a very important point. The second point in the pillar number 1, we have the waste quality specification. It's very important. When we talk about MSW, it should be, we should define, and it is a case in Tadweer in Abu Dhabi, we define non-conforming waste. In some country, in some area, in some city, the MSW will be mixed with construction demolition waste, with bulky waste, with the liquid waste. That is not good for the feedstock, and this is also make the project not viable. And here in Tadweer is really, you are a pioneer in this waste collection, waste management strategy. Reason your project also within 3 months, we achieved the financial close for your project. And another point is the gate fee. Gate fee, we should have a gate fee which reflect the disposal and the treatment cost. And without this, no lender will finance your project, which is also a part of your mandate as a government entity. It's already existing in your system, which may make the project also more bankable project. Now, pillar number 2, it's proven technology, and then of course efficient operational. You need to have a reputable technology provider with long tracking record, well experienced EPC contractor to deliver the project on time, no delay, and of course well experienced waste operation and maintenance contractor. In Abu Dhabi case, it was an open tender. Few consortium have submitted the bid, and then we are far number 1. And it's a pleasure for us as really it's a good experience to have Tadweer as a team, a part of the team. We are really glad and very proud working with you. And then, of course, we are also looking for another opportunity to develop it together. Now, going now to pillar number 3, we need to have a stable revenue stream, like well-structured PPA agreement and waste supply agreement. You know, the procurer in this project, you have EWEC. In our project in Abu Dhabi, we have a Transco. The PPA is well defined, the risk well defined, and the revenue for this project is well defined. And of course, you are the responsible for the waste. The waste is available, and we have our waste supply agreement in place, which also motivate the lender to finance this project, make it valuable. We have the gate fee in place, we have the electricity fee, and we have also a metal revenue from the metal coming from the bottom. And the pillar number 3, which is also key, we have well-defined risk allocation. It's very important for the lender who is going to take this risk. And when it comes to the waste supply risk, it's clear it is the municipality, in this case, it's Tadweer, is going to take the risk, which also it's the case in Abu Dhabi project. You have it also in the project in Sharjah, in Dubai, the same. When it comes to technology and performance risk, it's the EPC contractor and it's a O&M contract. And when it comes to the power offtake, it's of course the government. In this case, is EWEC, is Transco in Abu Dhabi case. Okay, and the pillar number 5 is also key. We need strong public sector commitment.
For sure,
it's a very important
one.
Waste to energy works well when it is a part of the strategy, a national climate and waste strategy. Like taking example in Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi, we have a master plan. We have a target. We have a target by 2030 to divert 80% from the waste from the land chain.
Yes, of course.
It is a national strategy. Same for you in Sharjah. In Abu Dhabi, they have also their target, and this commitment make also the project viable. That is an important. Now we talk about how to make the project economically valuable. Now, when it comes to the finance, how to finance, what is the most suitable finance setup? You have a concession. It's a PPP model. It's well known in the region, the GCC, especially also in the UAE. It's a proven system. You have the private sector will design, will build, will finance, and operate the plant. You have the government, which guarantee the waste supply and the off-taker. Of course, this revenue also automatically will guarantee the revenue and the from the gate fee and the electricity fee. This is a dominant model in the region. Like your project, you can say partnership. Our project, it's a PPP. It's a private-public partnership. You are a partner. It's a PPP model to build, operate, and own this plant for a concession for 30 years. Taking now Dubai example, is also PPP. It's build, operate, and transfer after 35 years to the government. Same also your project. It's a BOT project.
Well, thank you so much, Roni, for taking us through such a detailed answer to that very important first question. I want to touch on a very important point that you made in terms of partnerships. The waste energy facilities that we see across the 3 of your very important entities are only possible through partnerships. So I kind of want to discuss a bit more about the partnerships that Tadweer Group has and how that has helped our current and future waste energy facilities come to life. So Ahmed, I'll turn to you now. Can you please talk to me a little bit about the current and future waste energy facilities that Tadweer Group is operating?
Sure. Happy to share the ambitions of Tadweer and what do we have on the ground. But before I do so, I'd like to take a step back and touch on why waste to energy and why is it of significant strategic importance to Tadweer. The first point is from energy demand and energy security point of view. The fact is energy demand, especially for electricity, is increasing over the last year. In 2024 alone, it has increased by 4.2%.
Wow.
Driven by AI, data centers, and electrification efforts in plants and facilities.
Of course.
Now, to cope with that demand, I quote His Excellency Dr. Sultan Al-Jaber, where he mentioned that we don't only need renewables or nuclear or oil and gas. We need all of them together.
The full mix.
So that touches upon energy security, and the diversity of mix is important. Now, waste to energy plant is a great source because it can be partially renewable and sustainable source. The second strategic point is our target of 80% land diversion, diversion from landfills. Waste to energy will play a key role, of course, because these wastes that are hard to recycle will need to be diverted away from landfill. And the last resort is waste to energy plant, but it's a necessary resort to achieve the 80% landfill diversion. So that is a bit of context why it is very important to us. Now,
For sure.
we have took steps into investing. We have entered into a partnership with BEEAH in Emirates to waste to energy plant. We took the share from Masdar, and we have also invested in a waste to energy plant in Abu Dhabi with a capacity of 700,000 tons per annum. That will
Wow.
come online in second half of 2027. And that
Amazing.
will provide electricity for around 50,000 homes in Abu Dhabi.
Incredible.
And that's the first step in Abu Dhabi. We also are exploring international investments in waste to energy, specifically in Australia, in Parks area with 700,000 tons waste to energy facility. So these are our future plan to enter this market.
And that's the first one in Australia, if I understand correctly, right? That's the first international Australian JDA signed. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And what you've done really well is also touch on the waste energy facilities across the UAE. So, of course, we've discussed kind of the Abu Dhabi-based facility. We've discussed the Sharjah-based facility. Roni, I'd like to come back to you, please, for my next question. So, in your opinion, how will the Abu Dhabi waste energy facility further strengthen the UAE's leadership in sustainable infrastructure compared with your Dubai project?
Okay, thanks, Sarah, for the question. You know, the Abu Dhabi Waste to Energy Facility is not just an infrastructure project.
Mm-hmm.
It's a benchmark for sustainable development in the region. It's the facility, Abu Dhabi Waste to Energy Facility, demonstrates how advanced waste to energy technology can significantly reduce waste volume while generating clean and renewable energy for a growing city like Abu Dhabi, like Dubai. And, you know, Kanadevia Inova has already delivered one of the world's largest waste to energy facility in Dubai.
Wow.
Today, this facility stands as a reference for the United Arab Emirates, and not only for the United Arab Emirates, for the whole world. With Abu Dhabi, we are building on our experience and once again demonstrating Kanadevia Inova regional league, combining waste to energy global expertise with proven technology to create a long-term value for the Middle East, for Abu Dhabi, for all the UAE.
Thank you so much. And what I love about here is the synergy between all of the points that you're all making is the true power and potential of waste energy facilities. It's not just in Abu Dhabi. It's not just in Dubai. It's also Sharjah. It's also international. And bringing in that expertise to the UAE, but also exporting that expertise from the UAE internationally is amazing. And this brings me to my next question for you, Nasir. So, of course, your company, BEEAH, has probably one of the most kind of long-spanning expertise and experience in operating waste energy facilities, right? With Emirates Waste Energy being one of, if not the most important facilities regionally as well as locally. So in your opinion, bridging kind of the waste sector with kind of the energy sector, what are some of the barriers or challenges to entry that might need to be addressed to introduce more players into the waste energy market?
Thank you. I think it's a really valid question, especially as an operator of waste management, as a waste management company operator. You know, when we look at the growth of cities, waste will only grow. It will keep on growing.
Of course.
I mean, and we don't have endless lands to keep on dumping waste. So, solutions, they have to be created somehow down the line. But also, when you try to create a solution, you will create more complexities around it as well. And this creates some sort of, that innovational spirit with waste management companies to continue to innovate and try to find solutions to reduce these wastes and divert as much from landfills. And to enable investors, there has to be some sort of clear policies, government mandates that will that will help this innovations come into play. I remember we when we had this vision of zero waste to landfill. It started back almost 12 years ago, and there were a lot of challenges of how we can bring this.
Of course, I'm sure it's a whole new concept, right?
Yeah. And the investment around it, getting that secured power purchase agreement in place. It was really complex, and we are proud to be one of the, at least to operate the first waste to energy facility in the region in partnership with Tadweer. I think now we are, as I said earlier, waste is only growing. We have to continue to innovate, continue to bring more solutions into place. And now we're starting with also waste to energy phase 2 as well. That will produce that. We will be producing around the total output of 60 megawatt of energy to power not less than 80,000 homes.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's a great one for our listeners. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And again, Sarah, to add, UAE is really pioneer. You can see, I'm following this market over now 13 years, looking for the whole region here. And what UAE, what we done, we should be proud. Within like 5 years, you have the world's largest, the most sustainable waste to energy and advanced project in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and then Sharjah, what you are doing also with zero. That is extremely really. I'm impressed, honestly.
I'm glad you're impressed. But honestly, you bring up a great point, Nasir. It is so important to stay innovative in how we treat our waste, how we look at waste energy facilities. The one kind of common theme we've heard throughout Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week, throughout the World Future Energy Summit, is that we must be innovative and adapt quickly to the future challenges that the waste energy sector brings. And this brings me to my next question for you, Ahmed. What kind of challenges does Tadweer Group anticipate when it comes to kind of future waste energy plans, and what potential solutions might be put into place to address these?
There will be a lot of challenges, that's for sure.
Inevitably.
Luckily, we have the right partnerships. In Sharjah, they have achieved one of the highest diversion rates in the region. Right? We have great partners. We can learn from them. One of the challenges that we anticipate for our future waste to energy facility in Abu Dhabi is the feedstock. We all know that's key component into optimizing the waste to energy plant, both cost-wise and energy production-wise, and emission reduction-wise. We are looking at building an integrated system, right? Where we send to waste to energy the material that's hard to recycle, cannot be recycled, while maintaining consistency of supply and composition. Now, that's a bit challenging,
of course,
in UAE and Abu Dhabi. Why? We have a dynamic country with the population growing. Composition of the population can change with economic changes. The demography of the people can change over the years. The type of waste generated changes, right? Even though the volume might go up, some types of wastes might go down. So to tackle it, we're trying to leverage data to build a strong prediction model that we can anticipate the composition and the volume of waste coming up, in order to build an ecosystem where waste to energy can be fully effective.
Wow.
And there is no better day and age to do so than now, because
course.
now you can leverage AI. Right? We have huge databases. We have multiple correlations. You correlate it with GDP growth, with average income, with number of hospital beds increase, with the average age of the population. If you have a strong prediction model, we believe you can predict the future. If you predict the future, you can anticipate and build the facilities to tackle the waste of the future. At the same time, segregation at source is very important.
Very important, yeah.
We're not there yet, let's admit it, but we're working hand in hand with the Environmental Agency Abu Dhabi, Ministry of Climate Change and Environment, into introducing incentive schemes, different mechanisms to maximize the segregation from source. And if we do that, you really cut down the cost of post-segregation. If you build a material recovery facility, the logistics cost, you build a better business case for both the waste-to-energy plant or other downstream businesses of treatment. So these are the two main challenges we anticipate. As I said, we have great partners. We learn from them. We're ready to take on this challenge in the future.
Sarah,
Thank you. Okay,
if you
please.
allow me to add something to
Please, yeah, please.
segregation in source, what I can tell you is the experience what we are doing or what we did already in Dubai. UAE, you are a pioneer. You are number one in the region and in worldwide. But what is the challenge for you as a UAE here? You have a lot. We are expat. You have over 80% of the population. It's expat people, and we have over 175 nationalities. To educate all people,
it's a bit of a task.
That is a task. That is a really challenge. I believe it will be not really easy, but I'm convinced you make it happen. That's clear.
Honestly, I think a lot of really great points have been brought up about obviously the quality of the feedstock, how the feedstock can change, adaptability to the different waste streams, innovative ways that we can treat the different waste streams. And I know that there's a priority for BEEAH in terms of green hydrogen production as well. So Nasir, I'd love to hear from you about kind of the green hydrogen production from waste streams and how this is revolutionizing the energy sector in the UAE and potentially the investment outweighing the costs.
Thank you. I think it's a really interesting journey we're venturing into. At a certain point, I mean, maybe this brings me to my earlier point about how we continue to innovate. At a certain point, we reach a peak whereby we overproduce energy that may not be utilized. That's why we have to look at different pathways. And when you look at the fundamentals of the waste to hydrogen, for example, in this case, waste to hydrogen projects, in principle, they are more or less similar to the waste to energy plant, as the basis is a gasification process. And then, once you start producing that gases, then you look at, what can you do with these gases? Should you put them back into, gas turbines and produce energy, or maybe there's a much better value creation once you start capturing these gases. Either you can produce hydrogen, which will then be used to fuel vehicles, or even be used to in hard to abate industries. The hydrogen as well, since it's a clean green hydrogen, can be used as well as a feedstock to produce sustainable aviation fuels, which again, I'm sure the airline industry is looking for, desperately needs clean fuels. It can be used as well, to power the transport sector as well. Additionally, which is not very common in this region, but I know it's very common in the Western world, whereby you can mix hydrogen and blend it with natural gas to power cities. Again, this type of value creation brings to cities, but also to shareholders.
And
Thank
that
you
is
very
exactly the future waste to energy plan. It is to treat the waste and then combine it with hydrogen, CO2 capture, generate electricity, methane. That is the future. And then it's the near future. We are talking about 4 or 5 years.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you just brought me to my last question for all of you today. Thank you for that, Roni. I just want to kind of go around the room and ask you all, in your expertise, in your opinion, what do you feel is something important to keep in mind when it comes to the future of the waste energy sector? And what is something that we all need to keep in mind for our own learning, considering the viewership and listeners of different areas of expertise today?
You want to start?
Please go ahead. I'll follow up.
Okay, for me, it's again what we said. The waste to energy, it's a part of the circular economy. The solution for the waste management is not only waste to energy. Of course, it's recycling, SAF project, hydrogen, and waste to energy. But it's also a key important factor how to reduce the waste volume. Means, like as I told you, in Switzerland, 51% of the waste will be recycled, and the remaining waste will come in the waste to energy. What it's very important to see the waste to energy is a positive. It's not like pollution for the environment. It's a really very environment friendly and is a part of the circular economy. It's very important when you talk to the people who don't know waste to energy. They believe it's something. What are we talking here about? Nuclear power plant? It
sounds
really
dangerous and radioactive.
Yes.
And, yeah.
You can see when you see in Europe, we have a plant is built in the city, Paris. We have the plant is really underground, like 2 kilometers from the Eiffel Tower. Very environment friendly. It's a part of the solution, part of the circular economy. That's the people should be aware about it, should know it, because when here in UAE you have this, you know it, but in another country when you do business development, when they hear about waste to energy, they say, oh, what is it? That is my message.
Thank you, Nasir.
Yeah. I think one of the key important consideration to look into is the design of the facilities.
Mm-hmm.
So at least at BEEAH, we're proud to have I think the fully integrated waste management system. So we have 11 different facilities that treat different types of waste. And thanks to Ahmed, which he brought up earlier, BEEAH has the highest waste diversion rate away from landfills. And that with the design of all these facilities in a single complex, I think it becomes easier to transport waste or hard to recycle waste from, let's say, the starting point for us at least is a material recovery facility that we can take it to the waste to energy side, waste to hydrogen side, and then the future designed plants that will create additional value for the to improve the circular economy. What we consider, I think what's really important is the design of your waste management complex. Instead of having different facilities, different areas, it's a fully integrated waste management complex. So design for us is really important.
Design. Perfect.
Very valid point.
They highlighted great points. Maybe I'll touch upon an element of growth in the future. Population is growing. We know that waste generation will grow. Our efforts go first towards reduction, but the facts say it will grow. The waste to energy industry in 2024, the market size of it was around $46 billion.
Wow.
It is forecasted to grow to around 72 billion US dollar industry by 2033. So that's not double, a bit less than a double in almost a decade. So the forecast shows
crazy.
Waste to energy is an industry that's going to grow.
100%.
Now that's fueled by technology. Why? As mentioned, the technology has reached a level where it's environmentally better. It's so safe, it's environmentally better
Right.
to actually use waste to energy than landfills and methane from landfills, right? And they're so safe now to integrate close to cities.
Correct.
So the future is promising for waste to energy. And I think the thing we need to keep in mind is, and anticipate is, in the ecosystem, how can we further maximize the segregation before waste to energy, segregation at source, maximizing recycling,
Of course.
maximizing, developing new products from wastes through new technologies, and trust in waste to energy as the solution that will take care of the remaining waste that is hard to take care
Not the
of.
first option, but an option once we prioritize segregation at source, recycling, and recovery of these amazing materials first.
Exactly. That will always be the number one focus and priority, even in the future, even with the growth of waste to energy industry.
Oh, I can tell you from my perspective as a technology provider, business development, waste to energy, it's a market. It's a very promising. We are expecting as a company, as a Kanadevia, Inova, for the next 4 or 5 years to build here minimum 6-7 waste to energy projects. We are
That's
talking
incredible.
only about the GCC countries.
Wow.
It's a good future. And again, UAE, you are number one. You have already 3 waste to energy projects. Congratulations.
Well, if there's anything that we all know from being in kind of UAE-based or Middle Eastern-based companies, that's the fact that this country really supports this ambition, and together, working as partners, working kind of on the same agenda, on the same wavelength, we're all supporting the UAE's national sustainability ambitions, net zero ambitions as well. And at the end of the day, we want to create a more sustainable future for future generations. So thank you all so much for joining me today on this special edition of this podcast. So that's a wrap. Thank you all so much for listening and watching as we're on the sidelines of the World Future Energy Summit, and we'll see you next time.